guys, the Super Review Show for another My Thoughts on Video. This is my thoughts on Deadpool 3 coming from Marvel Studios. Now, full disclosure, there has not been any movement on it as far as I know, other than they're going to start filming it soon. Other than that, I haven't heard anything else. But this is my initial thoughts on Deadpool 3, where the X-Men could come into it and whatnot, and how Marvel Studios is going to play this out. So, long story short, this, and I'm going to tie in some other stuff as well, so just bear with me for a second. This is just my thoughts on it. But Deadpool 3, Deadpool 1 was awesome. Hysterical, funny, nothing else like it out there, comic book movie of just Wade Wilson and killing it out, literally, and being an awesome, hysterically funny written movie. I love it. Deadpool 2 was not as great as the first one. It was still fun. It was still energetic. The humor wasn't quite there, if you will, but no matter what, it was a great movie. Deadpool 3 is going to be in with Marvel Studios. The question that I think a lot of us are raising is, how are they going to do Deadpool 3 with Marvel Studios? Because Marvel Studios and they want to do a Deadpool 3 with them. Ryan Reynolds is on to produce the film. It's going to be crazy. How do they do an R-rated film in the PG-13 MCU? Now, they said that it's going to be R-rated. They said it's going to be in the MCU. But this, I think, truthfully, this opens up the question for, will we see, truthfully, how we're going to see not just Deadpool come into the MCU, but not just like Deadpool, but I would say the X-Men are going to come in as well. I've heard tons of theories online, and I think Deadpool is going to be the first one out of the gate that says, all right, we're going to do another Deadpool movie. It's tied into the MCU, and I think, honestly, it's going to be a success because the first two did fight very well financially at the box office despite being R-rated movies, because they're like, all right, the R-rated superhero is back. It's all good. But the X-Men and X-Force, because let's not forget, Deadpool 2 set up X-Force quite a bit, and Fox was going to do an R-rated trilogy of X-Force movies. Then Disney bought Fox. They kind of put that on hold, or they kind of scrapped it, depending on which way you look at it. I'm of the opinion that Doctor Strange 2, now we're getting into the full-blown nerd territory, so just bear with me, everyone. But the best theory I've heard in a long time was this. That Wanda in Doctor Strange 2, because listen, there's no doubt about it. We heard Professor X in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I mean, I'm excited for that movie beyond belief now. Because if they have Professor X in it, that means, they're going to do other things with it too. Because ever since Doctor Strange opened up the multiverse, he brought in other things from other worlds. And what's the best way to introduce that? They said that the X-Men never existed before until now. Is that, this is the theory I heard online, is that Wanda is going to bring, she's a mutant or whatever. She's they can't say it. Well, now they can, but they basically said, look, we're going to do this, and we're going to have Professor X in there as well. And I can't believe that they're getting him into it. I mean, that's crazy. But the thing with the theory was that the X-Men have not existed in the MCU yet because of the Multiverse of Madness. They're going to bring in this new iteration of the X-Men at some point. Now, whether or not we had Hugh Jackman or Halle Berry or even, Daniel Cudmore's Colossus, or in general, I don't know who we're going to bring in. But the fact that they're bringing in, like, something like this is crazy. I mean, Patrick Stewart was in the trailer. Patrick Stewart was in the trailer for Doctor Strange. So, Doctor Strange anticipation just went up for me. Could we see the X-Men in the MCU at some point? Yes. I have no doubt about that, since basically Disney, Marvel's parent company, Disney, bought Fox, which has the X-Men, and they're going to do that. They have full control over it too, which is crazy. Will we see Hugh Jackman at some point? I don't know. I mean, he is 50-something years old since they first shot X-Men in 2000, so that begs the question. Could they do, like... But I think we're going to have to wait and see when come Doctor Strange and Deadpool 3, whenever they start rolling cameras on that. But I think, honestly, Doctor Strange is going to have a lot of questions answered, truthfully, on how not just the X-Men, but a rebooted Fantastic Four is going to come out too. So how does this tie in with Deadpool, you might ask? Well, honestly, I think that Deadpool 3 is going to... I think the two films you're going to look for any sort of like help or guidance in some capacity in getting the mutants or like X-Men into the MCU is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think that's going to be the big question about the leading up to it. And I think that's going to lead into Mr. Fantastic coming in too. Because I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent aside from Deadpool 3. But Deadpool 3 ties into this in a sense, to me at least. I think that the Fantastic Four are going to be in the MCU. They announced the film. John Watts is directing it. They have no release date yet, but it's going to be in Phase 4. Thank you, John Schnepp, for predicting that. Just saying. Fantastic Four, Phase 4 of the MCU. It's going to happen. Now, will the Fantastic Four come into play? I think if you're good, the earliest you're going to see anyone is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness with Mr. Fantastic, because in that shot that we're talking about is what I believe is the Illuminati, with Professor X, and Doctor Strange is a part of that, and they make a lot of decisions that the heroes of the world decide. Will we see Iron Man? I don't know, probably not. That's my guess though. But will we see Mr. Fantastic? I would not. I would probably. There's a very high likelihood. I would say there's a high likelihood of seeing Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Strange too. But how does this all tie back into Deadpool 3? Deadpool 3 is going to be the first MCU R-rated movie, as far as we know. But will we see more of it soon? I guarantee you we're going to see. I think, like I said, the two films that really show a lot, are going to show a lot for the future of the MCU, is Deadpool 3 and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. That's going to have a lot of unanswered questions ready to go for the MCU moving forward. And let's not face it. Let's not forget this. Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness is the 28th MCU movie we're all excited about. Still, the fact that we're excited for a 28th movie in a franchise is nuts. It's nuts, to me at least. How Marvel has done this, I have no idea, but they've done it. They've created the most highly successful franchise of all time. And they're going to keep doing it and keep doing it. So, long story short, I think Deadpool 3 and Doctor Strange 2 are going to have a lot of answers in them for the future of the X-Men, for the future of the Fantastic Four. Whether they bring an X-Force at some point with Cable, who knows? We'll have to see, of course. But I do know that they're rolling this year as far as Deadpool 3 goes with cameras. They're shooting this year as far as I know. Which I'm excited about. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Am I crazy? Is my fan theory, am I going ooh crazy? Jump down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts on this. And subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We do My Thoughts on videos all the time. But for all of your My Thoughts on videos and many more, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. The J-Man, off the rock. And we'll see you guys later.